The national nightmare is over. Brandon Aiyuk is back, holding over. Let's talk about it. Welcome, everybody. Let's go Niners. My name is Jason Aponte. This is a emergency instant reaction. Brandon Aiyuk has signed his extension. The holdout is over. We even have numbers right now, actually. So the deal is front loaded, 4 years, $120 million. And yes, Brandon Aiyuk will be back in practice, according to Ian Rappaport. This is great. It's done. We don't have to worry about it. Done. Okay, now we can just focus to Trent Williams. But as of right now, that's something that we will talk about for another day. 4 years, $120 million extension. The $76 million in guarantees. No Pittsburgh Steelers. San Francisco 49er, Brandon Aiyuk. He will be here for quite some time. First off, let's breathe, because now it's over. And we can look at I believe that number's out. Okay, so the highest paid receivers in the NFL on a per year basis. Justin Jefferson, $35 million. CeeDee Lamb, $34. AJ Brown, $32. Amon-Ra, $30.02. Tyreek Hill and Brandon Aiyuk tied with 30 over Jalen Waddle and then Devontae Adams. So this is great. And this is just great news. Paul, thank you for the donation, buddy. Thank God it's finally done. That's where he should have been landing, in that $30 million range annually. So this feels great. Vibes are back. We're so fucking back. We are so back. Never a doubt. Never a doubt. Never a doubt. But it's great to see this happen now. Sets a good. That better not be who I think it is, but that's funny. Sets a good precedent for the rest of the year now. Feels a little bit better. I'm wondering how this is going to. Please, guys, don't do this in the chat. I'm wondering how this is going to, look in terms of what's going on with Trent Williams now. But for now, the deal is done. And I think that's the part that we should all be happy about. We go into the weekend now, not worrying about it anymore. Should be over. I think it's great, right? And I think this is what the focus is on right now. So pay the silverback. Pay the silverback so we can get this stream rolling. I'm laughing at something that's in the chat, guys. Don't trip. It's definitely just that. But yeah, guys, no Pittsburgh Steelers. Time to go through some receipts and dunk on some people that Aiyuk's a Steeler. He's a Steeler, man. Just give it up. Why would you care about this? All right, man. We definitely are going to be acting up on the timeline. Shout out to everybody in here. If you're new, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. If you did not know, now you know. Brandon Aiyuk, 4 years, $120 million, $76 million guaranteed. Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. Whew. I feel relieved. Literally just got off a stream with Brad where we were going through all of this talking, with the talking points and everything, and it's over. Let's roll, right? Brandon Aiyuk, Deebo Samuel, Juwan Jennings, Jacob Cowan, Ricky Pearsall, it's now the vibes are moving in the right direction. We get Trent Williams in here, we feel much better about week 1. But this is great. Let's do it. Thank you for the super chat, Roberto. Need to pay Big Trent and go get that ring. Let's fucking go. Let's do it, man. $76 million guaranteed, Alex. on the deal. It's an exciting time, man. It's an exciting time. I am going to be interested in how quickly the people who have been crushing Brandon Aiyuk, I'm just talking about 49ers fans, are going to, you know, turn around, a little bit. And I figured that this would be a popular thing. But the thing is Joel, Aiyuk was already on the 53. They had to keep him. So they don't need a corresponding move for him, I don't think. I think Bell is there for Trent. Like, Bell's there for Trent because Trent's holding out, right? So when Trent comes, then Bell's got to go. So I think that's where he's at right now. Aiyuk was already on. He was one of the 7 receivers kept. Bell is there just for when Trent comes back because he's not he didn't report. But yeah, and this is a good one. I think this is the good part right here. I think because Joey's saying, I have no idea how we are paying everyone. There has to be some restructures to get this done. We still have to pay Brock. I think right now, we at 6:50 Eastern time, 3:50 Pacific, I don't think we have to worry about that right now. I think all of that stuff, and again, we were talking about this earlier with Brad. We were under the assumption that the person that would go would be Debo, who has a lot of, dead money, all that stuff, like, right, and all that stuff. We should leave the gymnastics to them. I think right now, what we should be focused on right now, as opposed to how we're going to pay Brock next season, which they have a plan of. Like, they had a plan with, we got to pay Aiyuk, we've got to do this. They have a plan. But that's next year. We're talking about a team that was on the cusp of getting this done last year. And we want them to run it back and try it. So let's focus on, what we've got going on this season. Trying to count the money for next season doesn't feel like, something that should be talked about right now. I'm not saying that it's irrelevant because, Joey, eventually, the bill comes and everything, and we know how salary cap works. But for me, we're worried about this team trying to get back. And they can't get back without Trent Williams and Brandon Aiyuk. There's a good way to look at this, right? And I forget, and I'm forgetting the person's name, so don't quote me on this. It's not my quote. The difference between having Brandon Aiyuk and not having him is the difference between a top 7 offense and a historically efficient offense. That's really like the difference, right? Like, the 49ers can still win football games if Brandon Aiyuk's not here, but you need a little bit more if you want to finish the job. So I think this is an idea and something that'll definitely be talked about in terms of how they're going to pay Brock next season. But I think right now it's at a point where it doesn't matter right now. Not today. Not with this news that's just coming out. Like, at that point, let them figure that out when they get a chance to figure that out. But the good news is 4 years, $120 million, 76 in guaranteed money. The nightmare's over. One of them is. So, corresponding move, no need. He was already on the 53. So nobody's going to get cut. When Trent comes back, then Ronnie Bell's in trouble. But as of right now, the roster stays the same in terms of who made the 53, all that stuff. So I think this is a time right now, because we've been so frustrated with this process and who's saying what, who's doing what, who's been, holding this up. That's time to just exhale and just enjoy, and not worry about it. I think this ordeal, which is, again, as fans, when we say ordeal, it's not like affecting our day to day, or we're just, there's so much going on with this team that we should be talking about. And the focus is Brandon Aiyuk and Trent Williams. But now this is behind us. All the vibes are good. I'm fairly certain to say that a lot of the people who had bad things to say about him will be fine with this. And when he starts catching passes, they'll definitely not remember the things that they said. But I think the frustration is just trying to get this thing back on the rails and trying to get the 49ers back in, contention where they should be for a Super Bowl. So Man, whoo, literally just got off the stream, was sitting here, and boom, the Mike Garafolo tweet comes across, and that's how quickly it happens, right? So, yesterday I put out a video, just talking about everything, and I put, a little clip saying that yesterday was kind of a weird day in which John and Kyle were saying, we hope he'll practice, and then he doesn't come out. Kind of felt like the tone was a little strange. The way they were saying stuff was a little weird. And then boom, look, the next day signed. And it's funny because John had a quote saying that literally like this: we've been in dire situations with players in negotiations, and then it just changes all that quickly. And he goes, I'm optimistic that that'll happen. Literally, that's what he said yesterday. It's in the transcript. It's so funny that he kind of predicted this today by saying, I've been in some really dire situations when it comes to contract negotiations, and it literally flips in a moment. Talk about fluid. Literally went from yesterday being contentious, him missing practice today, to them getting it done. We'll never know how this really came to fruition, what was really going on, but it's going to be really fun to at least hear this next press conference, whenever it is, about how this all kind of played out and what their thoughts are. So we'll never know the small details and everything. They'll just give us the happy answer, like, yeah, we fixed it, we figured it out, everything's great. But man, what a turn of events. If you guys are here, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live, man. Oof. I was gonna do a show with Peacock at 8 o'clock. I gotta change that title now because it was about a standoff, and now there is no more standoff. So yeah, I think that 4 years, 120, 76 million guaranteed, puts him right there with the same amount of money as Tyreek Hill. That's more than generous. More than generous. And as these contracts explode, it may turn out to be a discount. So again, celebrate, guys. Have fun. It's still a little early on the West Coast, so I don't know if you guys are working, but if you are off, cracking a adult beverage and just, start to think about what this will look like. We gotta thank Sean. He says, "You're welcome, everyone. I am followed BA on Twitter today. Made that shit happen." Sean, why didn't you do this weeks ago, man? I mean, thank you, for ending the ordeal, but goodness, man, you could have ended this way earlier. But hey, better late than never is always going to be the saying, right? Correct? On a day in which Steph Curry gets a record 1-year deal, Brandon Aiyuk gets paid today. Man, great day for the Bay Area, huh? Hey, Trent Williams, if you're watching, because I know you are, Trent, come here real close. Stop messing around. Come on home. Okay? Let's get everybody back, right? I know you're watching, Trent. I know you're in the house. You're scouring through 49ers YouTube. Saw that I was the first one to go on. Time to come home, man. Time to come home, buddy. Let's go chase this chip again. Shout out to Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers for finding a way to get this done. But yeah, this is going to be a fun weekend. It's going to be a fun weekend. We get to have fun now. We can dunk on Steelers fans. We can dunk on Washington Commanders fans. Like, that's pretty fun. We have been through enough fighting each other and just worried about the whole situation that we should have some fun. Trying to kind of just, Hey, Sean, yeah, I was going to say, you better unfollow Trent Williams. Like, now, if you have that type of power, unfollow him right now so we can get this deal done. Like, do you want them to chase this chip or not, Sean? Come on, man. See, we can make jokes about it now because it's done. But we're just all happy it's done. Again, obviously, doesn't affect our day-to-day, but now we don't have to hear about it anymore. And now the 49ers can continue to get there. So Ozzy says, hey, Jason, give us some fantasy tips. I would draft Brandon Aiyuk. I think he's going to be really good. I think any piece of this 49ers offense would be good to get your hands on. I think Deebo Samuel is going to have a very, very good year this year, essentially in a contract year. Christian McCaffrey is going to be the first off the board. Obviously, that's up to you. If you have the first pick, I don't blame you for taking him. I don't blame you for not. Brock Purdy's a great QB1 to pick at the back end if you have a one quarterback league. But I think that Deebo Samuel is going to have a very, very good year. I think Deebo Samuel is going to have a very good year, and it's only going to be better when Aiyuk's there. I think he's gonna, be the guy who is efficient and is gonna take the ball and go. So, again, one more time, 15 minutes in, guys, almost 560 people in here. Brandon Aiyuk has signed a 4-year, $120 million deal, $76 million guaranteed, $30 million APY, right tied with Tyreek Hill. The ordeal is over. Shout out to all you guys, man. It's a good time. It's a good time. We'll get Trent on board soon. Trent's got to see this and say, man, the band's getting back together. Let's do it. Let's do it. So yeah, no more speculation about who's offering what trade was offered, anything like that. It's done. It's done. Finished. Over. And I think that's exciting for everybody. So shout out to all you guys for checking in, man. I'm going to get out of here. I'll chop it up with you guys in an hour. I have a lot more to say with Brian Peacock. And you know what? Enjoy this. Let's go have some fun. And as always, let's go Niners. Welcome, everybody. Let's go Niners. My name is Jason Aponte.